Mic on. Hello there everybody, I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining us and sticking around for the countdown. Tonight is OBS Workshop Stream Part 2, so I hope you enjoy watching tonight and learn something. Just general rules apply, support everybody's channels who comes in and whatnot. This is a great community I'm building up. Now, the OBS setup that you see is the same one from last week, but I am going to be running an example OBS, which is essentially untouched from last week where we finished off. So if you're not sure of where we're up to so far, watch that back, because essentially that covers from installing OBS to setting up basic countdown screens, mainstream screens for you on your own and with guests, and an outro screen as well. So if you want to catch that, That's on my channel from last week. That's part 1. And on the line, I have on the left there's Lucas. His channel name's Guinea Pigs. Do you want to say a quick hello, mate?
Hello. Welcome to our stream.
Yeah. If you want to check out Lucas's channel, you don't have any content on there at the minute, do you?
Not at the moment, but I'm trying to make some content. I'm gonna upload some videos next week. I'll be introducing people to GIMP, which stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program, and its upsides and downsides and differences from the Photoshop.
Oh, nice. So that's really cool. So, like I say, links to my guest channels are in the description down below, named and everything, and the links to the programs, the website, should I say, where some of these downloads are going to take place, are also in the description. We also have Mark. Now, if you've ever been to my channel before, you'll recognise him as the reprobate. I usually get on as a guest, like, you know, for the tinfoil hat streams and the you know, our general chat, Wing It Wednesdays, you know, with channel support. So, do you want to say a quick hello, mate?
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to Steve's stream. I'm actually looking forward to learning a little bit more as I need to. And I got to say, Gimmicks, I'm glad you're doing GIMP because I've been messing around with it myself. So I'm looking forward to seeing your videos too. So.
Yes. Now, anybody, if it seems like I'm not keeping up with the chat, essentially my main mode of chatting tonight is on the phone. So, you know, essentially because I'm running OBS on the screen, and it's a screen share that I'm using. If I bring up anything on the screen, it's going to show on the stream. So I'm just going to type in there, look, hello there, everyone, on my phone. I can type on the computer. I do have my live dashboard open, but for the purposes, it's my phone that's going to be the main source of chat tonight. So if nobody's getting tagged or whatever, you know, if there's something I really need to reply to, I will bring it up and type it in here, essentially. So once again, we've just got some new people in, and essentially, if you didn't catch last week's last Thursday, I'd highly recommend going to check that out. If you've never used OBS before, you've never had out to do with it, then please go check that out, because that covers from installation right up to this point where we are now in the example OBS. So obviously the stream is titled you know, OBS Workshop Part 2, and the purpose of the stream today is to cover how to get multiple guests on your stream and plumb them in, essentially, so everybody's got their own window, name tags and everything like that, and getting it looking real nice, and then a couple of little tips and tricks to get your stream looking as good as it can possibly be. Okay, if I'm a little bit slow tonight, yeah, if you caught the stream last night, it was hilarious. Me and Crags on the south having a good drink and whatnot, and I really am feeling it today. So I'm just going to have a quick roll call through the chat, because there's some great channels in here. We have Proper FPV popped in and said hello there. Country Cycle Cam said he's got 10 minutes, so he won't be able to join right away. That's fine, mate, that's all good. Thank you for dropping in. Dedra Ambrose, you know, I don't think she's sticking around for long. She's got migraines and whatnot, so I hope you get well as soon as possible. I never say get well soon, because it implies that I don't want you to get well right away. G-Mam as well, thank you for joining us. Mrs. RC, always good to see you. We've got Ball Life in here. Mrs. April Smith, Mr. TJ Smith, also great to see you. Gary Foster's Brant Aerials, always a pleasure, mate, always a pleasure. Lauren Amy's in the chat. She is my queen moderator, sat just off camera here, and we was all having a good scream last night, like I say. Drone About Northwest, great to see you, Ross. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Crags is, I don't know, he's probably in a coma at the minute, mate. FSV, great to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. FSV's my young apprentice. I'd highly recommend checking his channel out, and everybody else's. Rodney Bell, thank you for joining us. Ruland, thank you for joining us as well. I'm just caught up on the chat. That's all good. Now, I want to start off then with the website where to find the NDI plugin. Now, the main way that I get multiple guests on my streams is through Skype, the free you know, internet call program, video call program. Now, you download a program which is an NDI plugin, and I'll show you the easiest way to get that set up. how to enable that in Skype and how to use it correctly every time in OBS. Okay, so that's the main purpose of the stream, because Centroid, I think you'll agree that a lot of people are having problems with OBS
Actually,
and NDI, essentially. Mark has just dropped out, but I will invite him back. That's all good. I'll add him back in so he knows he can come back at any point. Mark's unavailable. His internet must have just dropped off or something. That's all good. Haunted Adventure, I hope you're well, buddy. Share Productions, thank you for joining us. It's not going to be as raucous tonight. It's more of a learning stream tonight, trying to get OBS set up. I'm sure that Mark Centroid will rejoin us as soon as he is ready to join us. Essentially, I'm calling him back now, you know, because we did just lose him. I just want to make sure the audio levels are right. Yeah, everything's good on there. Not dropping frames or anything like that. The call is open to him. I'm not sure why we've lost him, but obviously there's nothing wrong with the... Yeah, that's all right. Centroid says major internet crash. That's fine, mate. The call is open for you, mate. Whenever you want to jump back in, that's all good. Like I say, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We also have Share Productions in the house, and literally met him last night. Awesome stuff, you know, much appreciated. He keeps trying to send me a call, but that is not going to happen, mate. Unfortunately, I have to bring you in. So I'm just going to wait 1 minute until Centroid gets his bum back in, as it were.
My bum's here.
Yes, you're all right, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I mean, it was major. In fact, my modem and everything just shut off and said network issues, and then I just rebooted everything. So hopefully it's not going to be a problem.
Haunted Adventurer, Andrew, I hope you're well, buddy. Thank you for joining us. I'll be in touch with you on Facebook anytime soon, mate. I could do with a good natter with you, you know, catch up and whatnot. I ain't seen or heard from you in a while. I know you've been busy at work, but yeah, I'd love a catch up, mate. So I'll be in touch on Facebook over the next couple of days. Mark, will you turn your camera back on for us, please, mate?
Oh, we're doing that business again. It's always it's
yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
I am a professional at being a noob.
Like I say, my guest channels are in the description down below. We have Centroid on the left there, and Lucas on the right. His channel name's Gimmicks, and soon is going to be doing like guide content and whatnot for... Which program did you say it was, mate?
GIMP.
GIMP? Yeah, that's a image editing program, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. I'm just... Sorry, mate. Yeah, go on.
It's an alternative to Photoshop. Really good. It's free. It's really well updated. It recently got a new update 2.10, which brought many features into it. So that's why I want to do like tutorials on it, because it might be confusing to some people.
Yeah, that's good, mate. And obviously tutorials on YouTube are one of the main reasons people visit YouTube a lot of the time. It's one of the biggest resources for guide videos and reviews and things like that. So it's a good idea, mate. If you're covering it well and everything, you know, you'll get a lot of views. A lot of people will be interested. So that's really good.
In fact, I've watched 3 GIMP videos today alone, figuring stuff out. So get your videos up, mate. You'll get some watch time.
Yeah. I like how Centroid started saying mate.
Yes. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. I'll watch your videos, mate. You just said it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't know. So, like I say, I will just repeat this one more time. If you want to catch up on how we got to the stream countdown, the solo stream, this is my OBS example window. How to set up. This is the OBS setup here from last week where the stream ended to continue it tonight. So that's the one that I'm using tonight to set up these NDI sources through Skype. And at the end here is the end screen for the stream. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is, in the link below on the actual stream, I'm going to have a look in here because it's easier for me to find this essentially. in the channel, in the stream description, just below there is a link to the OBS NDI download. Now it'll come up with a page that looks like this, accept the cookies and whatnot, for the sake of arguments. Now I'm just making sure that I am right there. I can see everything going on. Yep, that's all good. So what you want to do is, look, it comes right up with this page. I've found the exact thing that you need for you. You just click this link here, this download link, on that, you know, on the link that I sent you there. And when you scroll down on this page, you want the OBS NDI 4.5.3 Windows installer, right? This is a really easy process. I'm not going to run through that because obviously I have to keep that installed for my stream to work tonight, but essentially that'll come up with options of where to install. Just make sure you know where OBS is installed. It will pick the default folder. If you're not sure, essentially go to your desktop, right click, and you just go on open file location on OBS, and it'll come up with where your OBS is installed to. Just make sure it's going to that folder essentially, and then it will be all good. Okay, so I'm just making sure that you've got that right. Once that's installed, what you want to do is you want to go to Skype before you make any calls, real quick there, and you bring up this window. There's a little 3 buttons there. Now, real quick, I'll say hello to Asgard Studios. Thank you for joining us, mate. Much appreciated. Awesome stuff. That's cool. So once you've installed them OBS NDI plugins, whatnot, that I've just told you about, the link's in the description below the stream, then you go into your settings, calling, okay, advanced, and then there's a little switch here, you see, allow NDI usage. That'll appear after you install the plugin, okay, and it will be default as off. Okay, so you want to switch that on. It won't let you do it while you're in call. Make sure you've done it before you start your calls and your streams and whatnot. Otherwise it won't work. You'll have to end your calls to go back in and activate this. Now, whenever you call anybody, that's all you need to do on that end of things. Whenever you call anybody, it will come up with this at the top, and there's a button where you can quickly stop NDI if you need to. If you've got some rowdy guests and you just want to cut them off, right? Mark will tell you all about it, you know what I mean? After last night, he's probably regretting that one, like, but that's all good. We had a good laugh. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and for anybody who you're calling while you have NDI activated, it will actually notify them that you're using NDI, and at any moment you could be getting live streamed essentially. So there is a built-in disclaimer for anybody who you're calling while you're using this NDI plugin. But obviously, if you're going to live stream with anybody on Skype, please let them know. Please let them, you know, be consenting and whatnot. Otherwise, you're going to start losing friends essentially. You know, you want to make sure that everybody agrees to be a guest on your stream, rather than just like, you know, I'll just start streaming this conversation or whatever. You know, that's all good. So once you've got that installed and you've gone up to your settings and enabled the NDI plugin in Skype, Jeanette Pickering, I hope you're well. That's really, really good. Backwards and forwards there with Centroid. I hope you're doing well, Jeanette. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to go to this example stream here, which is where we left off last week. The Hangouts guest obviously was just a quick way to show you how to get a guest in through Hangouts and OBS and whatnot. I'm going to remove that for the sake of tonight because it's not needed. Yeah, I'd like to remove it. Thank you. Now, once you're in OBS, right, we did cover all the basic settings of OBS last week. So if you want to know anything about that, check the stream last week or put something in the chat and I'll explain it real quick for you. So what you do is, look, you go to your sources and add. And what will appear now is an NDI source which wasn't there before. Obviously, make sure you configure all of this before you start live streaming, just so you know what you're doing, basically. Just go into OBS and check this option is available, essentially. So you want to click the NDI source, and to begin with, I'll get Centroid in on the screen, and you always want to make sure everything's named correctly. So in a pinch, you can mix things about and you know what everything is, you know, especially when your streams get more complex, everything wants naming correctly. So I'll call this Centroid NDI, and I'll know that that's his camera being plumbed in, okay? And it'll come up with this window once you've accepted that. Source name, and it'll come up with a list of everybody who's in your current Skype call. Yeah, I'm just reading the chat there real quick. Yeah, Gary Foster says, as a guest, your Skype window tells you your conversation is being broadcast. Yeah, even when it's not, it'll say, you know, there is a potential that this person could live stream this. So anyway, there's this drop down box right here, Skype, and I'm going to choose Centroid's, you know, Skype name there. So I'll OK that, and it will come up with this. What I forgot to mention was make sure that on these properties you select lowest bandwidth only, okay, on this drop down box. So you choose them and then the lowest bandwidth, because Skype uses a lot of bandwidth. I'm not kidding. That's all good, okay? So just make sure you choose lowest, because if you choose highest, you're going to be in 1080p or higher potentially, and lowest will just make sure that it stays, you know, like a low quality, because even if it's 720p and it's getting scaled down, even on a 1080p stream, it's still going to be super high quality, essentially. So that's all good. So we've got Centroid in there now. Obviously, I'm not streaming from this example of OBS. My one here is actually doing the streaming. I'm just making that clear. I'm not streaming from this one. So just sort of size it right and move that about there. And now I want to add another one, which would be Lucas's NDI. So I'll go on Add NDI Source. We'll call this one Lucas. That's cool. Add that in. I should have called that Lucas NDI, but I'll go back and sort that in a minute. There we go. Bandwidth lowest. And OK it. And then he should come up next. Right there. OK, properties. I just need to rename it to Lucas NDI, just to make sure that everything is good, because you might have images, you might have other things. You want to make sure that everything's all good. And to make sure it's the same size as everybody else's, because it's on a different level there, I'll make sure it scales to about the size of mine. And then would you look at that? If I was streaming right now, that's how the stream would look for anybody. As you can see right there. Lucas is looking round. Are you a bit camera shy, mate? Or are you all right? Just having a quick daydream there. That's all good. Yeah, Active Patriot UK. If I bring you my laptop and passwords, can you set my channel up? It depends how far away you are, mate. I mean, you know, I'm happy to talk to you about anything like that. Val's Life, thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. Tonight, like I say, is the OBS NDI plugin setup and whatnot. Continuing from the workshop last week, which was installation up until this point where we put guests in with NDI. You know, so we covered setting up the countdown screen, the solo stream, the guest stream, and the end screen, all with chats, ticker text, all the basic bells and whistles. Okay, so on this at the minute there is actually my name tag there, but it is locked down, so I'm going to unlock it and move it just up a bit, because otherwise it looks like it might be Lucas's name tag. Now what I'd do is to give everybody a name tag, because that's already set up with the right thingy there. I'm going to just duplicate it, which is copy, and then I'll add in a new. No, sorry, there we go. I'll just make sure it's there. Right click in the actual box, but not add a source, and then paste a reference to it, not a duplicate. If you create a duplicate, anything you alter on one will alter on the original source. So you want a reference, so it'll create a new version of it that won't alter the other one. There you go. And essentially, look, I'm just going to go on that, rename it to, Centroid name tag or something like that. Obviously, this process is something that you want to be setting up at least, if you know what you're doing, at least 15-20 minutes before you stream. If you don't know what you're doing, take as much time as you need, right? Because it will take a while. I think Centroid will agree. There is a lot of messing about to do on OBS, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is a lot of different stuff you can do on there and whatnot. That's cool. Active Patriot UK says it's from Grimsby Cleethorpes. That's okay, mate. If you check out my Facebook page, AV UK, which is AVAH UK, I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Don't get me wrong, I am actually keeping an eye on the chat. It is right here next to me, but obviously I can't keep that window open. This is a link to my Facebook page. You can contact me directly on there if you search that on Facebook. That's all good. And obviously I'll be in touch with you, mate, about possibly sorting something out. That's cool. So we've got everybody set up there. Look, I've just put Centroid's name tag in. Now I need to go on properties. And I'll just change that just the way I like to do it. So it'll be Mac. And then in brackets his channel name. Centroid aerial images, like so. With the bracket right there. And I like it centered, just so it's like that. And obviously there's an outline on that. This is all stuff I covered last week. There's an outline on it. You know, I can change the colours and everything. I covered that last week if you want to check that out. Something's gone a bit wrong there. It's because of the alignment centre or left. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So that's all good. Look, we've got his name tag in there. And now I'm going to copy that again. Easy, nice and easy. Just right click in this box at the bottom and paste another duplicate, which will appear there. And then at the top we'll rename that to Lucas name tag. So I'll just keep that there and call it Lucas name tag. There we go. And then all we do is just alter that. So we'll just call it, you know, just Lucas there. That's cool. Delete all that. I know this seems like potentially a very slow process, but OBS is a slow piece of software to set up if you're doing it from scratch. And what I'm hoping to do is literally go through it step by step. I've misspelt it. Have I misspelt your name?
Emacs.
Yeah, okay. Now, what the problem you might encounter is, just real quick, mate, I'm just going to sort this out. When you plug in your NDI sources, it will come up with it like this, and each person will have their own NDI source, which is something that you don't want to do. So what you want to do is you want to mute them, okay? Simple as that, and I covered this last week about creating a desktop audio source. So for now, I'm going to remove that, just to test it out. So if you guys want to say something, nobody will be able to hear you, but just say something for us. See, no one can hear you, okay? So you want to disable all of your NDI sources by just muting them, just like so, and then you just go in here and add an audio output capture right now. Audio output is any noise that is coming from your PC that you want to capture. Any input is, you know, from a webcam, from a mic, where there's a signal going in, essentially. So audio output capture, and just put it desktop capture, which is nice and easy. And this is a much better way of getting no echo on your calls or anything like that. Device, your own speakers or your desktop or whatever option you've got. And then just say hello real loud, Centroid, please, mate.
Hello.
There we go, and then just adjust your audio levels accordingly. What you want to do is you want to ask your guests to essentially say something quite relatively loud into the mic. If they got quite overexcited or something like that, then essentially at that point you want their audio to sort of register just below the red when they're getting excited. You'll have no distortion, no ghosting, no reverb, nothing like that. And Gimmicks will agree, won't you, mate? Just testing this audio out.
Yeah.
There we go. Look, right up towards the end of yellow there. So that's really good. So as you can see then, we have just set up the NDI sources in OBS. That window on the right is the one that I'm currently streaming from. I'll just bring up that right there. So do you think I covered that quite concisely there, Centroid?
Yes, you have.
Ah, look at that. Absolute darling, Anna, on YouTube. That's cool. Ehab James, thank you for joining us. I'm just going to catch up on this chat a little bit. Diva Dave D says, what's up? Just here for a few minutes. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Haunted Adventurer says, too bloody complicated for me, I'm lost. This bit here, a lot of the knowledge and information that I'm passing on tonight was covered. The basics of it was covered last week, how to set it all up. Obviously, that's why tonight I'm doing part 2 of it. Val's Life says, is there an easier program? The only other real program I know of that's easier for streaming group chats and things like that is Google Hangouts, but obviously a lot of people get by on that. But if you want your stream to look really, really nice and whatnot with your, all your custom, boxes and name tags and multiple guests all on screen at once, OBS on PC is the way to go. I believe it runs on Mac as well, doesn't it, Centroid?
It runs on Mac, but Mac does not allow for Google Hangouts. It only works with Skype. And Val might have been referring to whether or not there's an easier program than OBS, if that's possible. The only one I know of is Wirecast, but usually that's a paid version.
Yeah, like we say, OBS is completely free. Now, a lot of people, when they start OBS, there is a lot of options, there's a lot of settings, a lot of that as default you don't need to bother with. As long as you know exactly what you need to tweak, you'll be okay, essentially. And this is the program to use if you want to be doing live streams. Would you say that's a fair statement, Centroid?
I do.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Gary Foster says, I guessed on Hangouts from a Mac. Yeah, that's really cool, mate, Gary Foster. A lot of people, like I say, use Google Hangouts. I did start my live streams with Google Hangouts. I did 1 or 2 with that. And I already had a bit of knowledge of OBS back from my gaming channel days, essentially. And I thought, well, I need to sort of start learning it all over again. That was 3 or 4 months ago. And since then, I've helped several people out, and I thought, why not start doing that as a live stream? So if anybody asks me how to do this, and this, I'll be like, well, it'll be on that live stream, or I'll be talking about that next week or something like that. But if somebody needs help right away, I am happy to help. Like I say, my link is AV UK on Facebook. I'll put that back in the chat again for anybody. So on Facebook, if you want to find me, AV UK, that's my page. Just search that, and if you do need like one-to-one help, I'm more than happy to do it. Don't get me wrong.
Steve, can I just clarify something for Gary? I think I may have misspoken. It's not Google Hangouts that you can't do, on live streaming from a Mac. If you're using OBS, the OBS version that you download that's compatible with Mac does not allow for Google Hangouts calls to come in. You have to use Skype.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, yeah, if you want, like I say, all I can say at the minute is, if you're not sure how to get to this point that we're at right now, literally when I started this up today, this example set here that I've got, all I changed was the colour of the outline on that text. Everything else is the same, the countdown screen. And you can see there's only a few items in each, and once you've got the countdown screen set up, you can duplicate it, just tweak it, and your end screen as well, and your guests and whatnot. This is just how to show you how to efficiently get guests into your stream, okay? So now a good tip that I've been discovering lately that I would like to just mention real quick is when you're using OBS, try and think about your screen in quadrants, essentially. So you can see how I've got this rigged up. Essentially, there's the preview video there and 3 other main objects, which is me and the 2 guests. Obviously, there's the chat and the ticker text across the bottom, but that actually, the way I've got them set up actually frames the screen perfectly, well, not exactly perfectly, but almost into 16 by 9, which is standard resolution on most phones, TVs, things like that. So it'll still look good on phone, essentially. Gary Foster says, is there a Unix version of OBS? I'm not entirely sure what Unix is, to be fair.
I think there is.
What's Unix, Gimmicks?
Like systems with ARM64 architecture, so maybe Linux and stuff like that, just not the mainstream operating systems.
Okie dokie.
Everyday user uses.
Yeah, that's cool. So Diva Dave D, thank you for joining us. He says, all right, you guys, take care. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Thanks for stopping in. That's cool. Yeah, it says Linux. Yeah, I've never used Linux, mate. I don't know if there's a working OBS for that. That's all good, mate. I don't know.
Check.
Yeah, you have a quick check, mate, because obviously I'm quite limited as to what I can do on my desktop at the minute. Because obviously as soon as I bring something up that's not related to what we're talking about, it can get very confusing. For example, if I full screen this, we get an infinite tunnel, you know, which is something that I'm trying to avoid, actually bringing that OBS up, my one that's actually streaming. Now, for each guest name, you can go into these settings. It's quite easy to go into the properties, and, you know, there's the colour of the text, the outlines and everything, and the colours of the outlines to really make them pop. But I just like white text with black backgrounds for the simplicity of getting people started on OBS, essentially. That's cool. So next up then, I would like to cover, which might sound a little bit tricky for some people, but I want to just show just how easy this is. I want to show how to chroma key, which is extremely easy. Essentially, look, I'll go to, say, Centroid's window there in the NDI source on the stream that you can see. Essentially, there'll be his window, and he's pulling it in a little bit because I can see he wants to get it right. Now, to set up a green screen, you want a plain green, as flat as possible piece of material on a back-in or a pop-out one like Centroid's. Well lit with no hot spots or anything like that. Now, the way chroma key works is if one specific colour, a program will pick it out and make it transparent. Okay, so the more clear that image is and the more clear that colour is, the more likely you're going to have success with this. Okay, so we'll start off then. Centroid does have his green screen set up, and I'm going to show you just how easy this is. Essentially, I'll find his NDI source, and this will work on any source as well, anything, an image, whatever. You know, I could do it on mine, you know, but I'll show you Centroid's first. Right click his NDI source, go to filters, right there, add a filter with this little plus sign here, and add a chroma key, which is just there. Just leave it called chroma key. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Now, because he's got his green screen set up so well, essentially, look, it's already configured it quite nicely, but you can tweak it very easily. I'm going to show you, look, so I can sort of like phase him out, if you know what I mean, on the window there, or do it where the green screen is actually still visible, and then that looks about perfect. So if I close that now, look at that, Centroid is now actually chroma keyed in. So if I stretch him out there, look, you see how he's actually chromed in, and it looks really good. Then all you have to do is I could get this source here, put it behind him, for example, and it would look like he's sat in front of essentially whatever I like, you know. So that's all cool. You see, that looks really good, doesn't it? If I move that over, not my original intention for that little video reel there, but just an example of how to, you know, set up the chroma key for Centroid. Okie dokie. Just going to catch up with the chat real quick. Drone About Northwest says, anyone find it funny that Mark and Lucas swapped the C and K in each other for typical spelling of their name? Now, Lucas did say I've misspelt his name. Is your name with a C, Lucas?
No, I meant when you put the title in here, you misspelled my nickname, the Gimmicks. You spelled it Gimax, like with an A.
Oh, blooming heck. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'll sort that out right now, okay. I'll check.
I do take exception to the fact that that I spell my name the untypical way.
Yeah, that's all good. There we go, mate. I've solved it. Bearing in mind, this is not the program that's actually streaming from. This is just an example, essentially. The one I'm streaming from is in the background there. EBRFPV, thank you for joining us, mate. My main source of the chat tonight is my phone, because if I bring up chat on the screen, it's going to show up on the stream. And essentially, we've already got chat down the side. Then if I bring chat up, then we've got two lots of chat. It's going to get really messy really quick. So I'm using my phone. So if anybody in the chat has any questions so far, that's fine. If you want me to go over anything, That's all good. Please let me know in the chat if you're having any problems at all with OBS, and I'll see if I can answer your questions. So, yeah, Mark, what would you say so far has been your biggest hurdle on OBS, would you say?
My graphics card, which we
Yeah.
dialed in.
Okay.
Bringing in more than one Skype call really takes its toll on my system. So I have a new graphics card coming in. So if you're going to want to do multiple calls, you're going to make sure you have a hardy computer with graphics card.
Yes. Good advice there, mate. Good advice. Now, if you actually have a fairly good PC, essentially, I'm just going to take that advice and essentially kind of rub it in, mate, until your graphics card shows up.
I deserve it.
on this right-hand panel here, essentially, you've got the settings on this controls section. Click your settings, and in one of these, I'm just trying to remember which one it is. Yep, you look on your output settings. Right, and I did cover how to put the right video bitrate in for your system and internet connection last week. Essentially, find out what your upload speed is, go to any internet speed checker, and even if you believe there's an internet conspiracy where they actually fix your internet speeds on these speed checkers or not, they are correct. I can verify it, that these speed checkers are independent and correct. So if you've got, say, 6 megabyte upload speed, you want your video bitrate upload to be below 6,000. So for every megabyte upload, you get about 1,000 to apply to this bitrate. And obviously, the higher the bitrate, the higher the quality of the stream. So I've got 6, but my missus is playing Fortnite. In the other OBS, I've actually got it set to 4, so it actually lets, you know, Fortnite run fine as well. Now, a lot of people have mistaken low upload speed for being the problem. Mark, you've had this issue, haven't you, mate? Like you was just saying. I'm not ragging on you, mate. I'm just
no, please. If anybody can avoid what I went through, I'm glad to help.
Yeah. Thanks for popping in, Val's Life. Much appreciated. That's all good. And like I say, check everybody's channels out tonight. I'm sure most people in here already know of each other. We have a smaller crowd in, but that's good. I do like it because the people who are here, I'd assume, want to know more about OBS, and that's what it's all about tonight, so that's really good. Yeah, and then essentially, look, when you've got your bitrate set up, you can go to this encoder here. Now, if you've not got a decent graphics card but a good CPU, use the software encoder. Now, if you have a good graphics card, choose the hardware encoder, right? Now, one great bit of advice is if you're not sure about how well your stream's running or anything, go to your live dashboard, right? And I'm going to bring that up right here. And on the stream settings, you can change the privacy and put it as unlisted. Stream with your stream key like we went through last stream, and set it as unlisted. As soon as you go live in OBS, nobody will see it, only you, and you'll be able to see if you're having any lag or any issues or anything like that. So yeah, that's really good. Now, for anybody who's got more than 6 megabyte upload speed, I can guarantee you right now that if you're having problems with OBS, it's not your upload speed. I've got 6 megabyte, I've got it set at 4 to use, and this stream is running very smooth. You know, I dropped 61 frames in the beginning, but that was only because I forgot to close my Skype window. That was just on the opening bit of the chat. Now, I have nearly just missed out on one key piece of information there, Mark, and that is when you start your Skype call, ready to go streaming, disable your camera in Skype. Whatever you do, please disable your camera because it will chew your upload speed to high heavens, won't it, Centroid?
Yes, it will.
Now, I had issues before. I had a stream set up with Eagle, with a few other people, and I had to restart that stream about 3 times, you know, and by then people are fed up. They don't want to keep getting the notification. There's a chance you might lose subs. There's a chance the viewers aren't going to stick around for it. If you're streaming, just make sure before you start streaming, even I made this mistake tonight, make sure you turn your camera off before you start your stream. You want your camera plugged into OBS like it is here. you know, and then you want, you know, your Skype sources coming in, but you don't want your high quality webcam image being uploaded at the same time as your stream, because it will be so laggy, and it will keep, you know, you'll get bad stream health and everything. It's really not good. Haunted Adventurer has to go, I assume. I will be in touch, Andrew, on Facebook. Thank you for dropping in, and I'll have a catch up with you, mate. It'll be really good. That's really cool. So, do you have any other advice or anything, Centroid? Anything I've missed so far?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I think you've touched all the bases as far as I can say. If I think of something, I'll try to cut in it strategically, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so obviously my intention for this stream was setting up OBS NDI sources, but there is ways of actually still sprucing up your guests' like appearance and whatnot on your stream. Now, you can actually find, I haven't looked into any others of these that you can get, but you just look up, you know, on YouTube, just look up webcam borders or, you know, whatever, and there is actually royalty-free ones that you can use, which are really, really useful. Now, obviously, because I've got 2 versions of OBS open, this may lag my system, it may lag the stream, but I'll keep an eye on things. Now, essentially, I'm going to find the file on my computer, so I'll go to my computer there. I am running Windows 7, so that's all cool. I like Windows 7 anyway. There we go, and it's in this folder here. Loads of silly pictures of people wearing tinfoil hats that I use for my thumbnails, as you might already know, you know what I mean? And I'm just trying to remember what it's actually called. It's webcam box render, there it is. So if I play this, this is how it actually looks. This is the media file. These are the lightning boxes that I use. So you might have seen these before on my previous streams. That's all cool. Now all you need to do is look up webcam borders, things like that, you know, and you can find royalty-free ones of them. Christopher Goebel, thank you for joining us, mate. He says, more BS, I mean OBS. Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated, you know, always. Okay, so to get them working, these borders, like actual animated borders, around your guests and yourself, whatever, just go to Add, and then Media Source, and I'll call that... the default colour of them is blue, but obviously for any ones that you get, there won't necessarily be blue. There won't necessarily be lightning. There could be anything. Just webcam borders, basically, animated ones. So I'll put in blue box. So it's called something nice there. Make sure you hit loop, otherwise it'll only play till the end and then it'll disappear. Make sure it's on loop, because some of these are only about 10 to 30 seconds long, and obviously streams can go on for, potentially on for hours, you know. That's cool. Christopher Goebel's just finished work. Thank you for joining us. And you saw where I actually put that, where that actually is. So there it is. Look, the webcam box render. That's cool. Okay, that. And it looks like this. By default, it already gets rid of the black. That's cool. So all I'm going to do is... And if your webcam box renders or whatever, your borders, don't actually scale perfectly to your webcam windows, as you can see like this. All you have to do is hold down the Shift key, which is the little arrow up key just above Control at the bottom left of your keyboard. And if you hold that, you can actually stretch them out of the normal set resolution and whatnot. So that's how that would look, essentially, if I want to set up that box there, and all I do is just make sure it goes below my name tag, and that looks really cool. Also, that name tag has somehow changed into mine, which is quite confusing. I may have done that as a duplicate, which should have been a you know, what is it, a duplicate, not a reference, should I say, sorry. So that's how you'd add a webcam box. Now essentially I can repeat this for everybody, but it is quite a labour intensive process, and I don't want to be streaming for too long tonight. That's cool. Ball life later, guys. Catch up next time. All you do is, to change the colour of it, I'm just going to go down, and then up to this point I've covered you know, setting up OBS, doing NDI sources, and these are the main things that people have been asking about essentially when they ask me, you know, how do you do this, how do you do that? So I'm doing it for everybody's benefit, you know, to try and get the most out of this. I'm just looking for the blue box there. Now all you do is you just go on filters to change the colour, effect filters, and colour correction, okay? And then all you do is look, there's a hue shift at the bottom here, and you can literally just slide that through the spectrum of colour. So I mean, if I want it red, just slide it over to red, close it, there we go, and then you just change your actual fonts, your colour, your lettering and whatnot to whatever you like. So I'm covering some good bases tonight, aren't I, Mark?
You're running through them fairly well.
Oh, yes, indeed. Nice and easy. And all I can keep saying is if you didn't catch the one last week to get you to this point, please do, you know, because we covered the countdown screen, which is something that I'd highly recommend every time, using SNAS, which is another free program. I'll set the time to now and just show you how this works. I'll put 48 in, for example, start. And then that's how your stream countdown will look. Like so, you know, with some animated or a still picture. But you always want some audio to it, like a bit of music or something like that, which I covered last stream. I also covered doing this, but just me or whoever wants to use OBS. Solo, but you've got your ticker text and whatnot, your chat all built in. Next up, you know, we've covered how to do NDI sources, multiple guests. Now, if you wanted, for example, 8 guests, if your system can handle it, you just repeat the process. Make sure everyone's sized up where they need to be. And you'd probably want to do 3, 3, 2 for that and have it in like a grid of 9. That'd work quite well in the resolution. Would you agree with that, Centroid?
I definitely would agree with that. But while you're talking about it, I apologize if I didn't hear. My issue last night was when I brought in Skype calls. You can set the quality of each call to a certain level to reduce the amount of output, I guess.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Yeah,
No,
yeah. So through the NDI source, you can choose how much like bandwidth, how much quality that image has coming in, which can, you know, if you put it on lowest, it will really reduce the strain on OBS. It's really what you want to do, because essentially, if you're on screen, your guest is on the stream, even with one guest, you're getting sized down to at least half of the screen. And if you start off at 720, even if your stream's in 1080p, you size that down to half, you're gonna be at high quality anyway. You know, that's just the way scaling works. You know, Pleiadian scientist UFO builder, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great night last night. I know we all did, right? You know?
Wait,
yeah.
Was this before or after your stream? Or during or after your stream?
Before, during, afterwards on your stream, it was non-stop, wasn't it? Just couldn't seem to escape me and Crags last night. Nobody could.
No.
It was like, oh, it's him in here again. Oh, blooming heck, it's still at it. I was on a mission on your stream, wasn't I? Blooming heck.
And mission accomplished.
What did I accomplish last night?
Destroy, putting my account on the watch list.
Oh, dearie me. I know, I did, and I will apologise again, live on stream, hand on heart, you know, my hand's on my heart, look, I do apologise for dropping the F-bomb on your stream last night, completely mistakenly, you know, it just slipped out. I blame the rum, right, but that's all good. Yeah, I do apologise though, mate. It is very unbecoming of Aerial Views to swear on his live streams or anybody else's. So, yeah, I do apologise, like I say. That's all good.
No worries, no
yeah,
worries.
so, like I say, tonight I only wanted to roll for, I originally thought about an hour. I think I'm going to stick to that tonight because I've covered everything that I want to cover. So, real quick, Centroid, do you want to plug your live stream later?
Oh, that is very kind of you. I was going to ask to do my shameless plug, but if anybody's interested in not doing anything at 8 o'clock Eastern time here in the States, I am interviewing Roosevelt, a.k.a. the one and only Flying Natural, part of the Sunday Sunrise crew. He's graciously agreed to come on my live stream. So, if, again, 8 o'clock Eastern time, I'll be having him, and I'll be asking him some questions. And if you folks come in and want to ask questions, just type them in, and we'll go from there.
Nice. And obviously that means that that'd be 1 a.m. UK time. I know a lot of people don't stay up that late, but I know a lot of UK people that do, right? So, yeah, that's all good. So, obviously, when you go live, Centroid, I'll share it and whatnot on Facebook and shout you out on my YouTube dashboard, panel thingy, whatever.
Can I make one more plug?
Yeah, man, go for it.
I can't forget Jeanette and Chris Pickering. I'm also interviewing them tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern time, 10 p.m. UK time. If you haven't subscribed, Jeanette was in here earlier. They're a very nice couple, and I can't wait to talk to them tomorrow. So yeah, 5 o'clock Eastern and 10 o'clock UK time. Interview with Chris and Jeanette Pickering. That's
yes, nice one. Philly Drone Life just came in. We'll have to apologise, mate. We are about to round up, but just sort of getting the plugs in. Centroid streaming later at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is 1 a.m. UK time. But obviously, if you call Philly Drone Life, you know, I'll assume you're from Philadelphia. So yeah, you can work all that out. Lucas, mate, how long is it going to be till you start posting content and that for anybody who may have subscribed to your channel tonight?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. Just cool as a cucumber, and he just like, whenever. It's all good. Yeah, that's spot on. But yeah, I really appreciate you both being guests tonight. It is much appreciated. It really is. And obviously, this is a lot shorter stream than I usually do, but I only wanted to do a quick stream tonight. Thursday night, you know, I want to sort of carve that out as my OBS workshop night, just for like an hour or so every week, to have Q&As, guests on and whatnot, and talk about OBS specifically, and show you on a screen share how I'm setting everything up, and I can demonstrate to you in real time if you ask me questions and stuff. So I hope everybody appreciates that that I do it, and I appreciate everybody who's come in. So now we're going to roll to the outro screen, but before we do that, I'm going to look just to see who else is online. Let me have a quick look, just to have a quick look here, see, and see who's online. I have got my resolution set to 1080p when usually I'm on 4K, so everything looks massive on the screen. BNO Outdoors, I met this guy the other night, and he is absolutely spot on, this dude. I will have to play just a quick clip of his stream. I will pause it here. I'm just going to pause it there. Now, we're going to be raiding him in a minute, so I'm going to copy his link. And essentially, this is a support stream, so if you're after subscribers or anything like that, we're all going to pile over there, say hello with an aerial views raid. So I'm going to put that in the chat for you. Hashtag aerial views raid with an exclamation mark. So if anybody would be so kind as to go over there and raid BNO Outdoors, show him some support. And there's the link to the stream. Anthony Benton, thank you for joining us. We're about to round up and go raid BNO Outdoors. So there's the link right there in the chat. Please go over there, and I'll see you all there in about a minute's time, okay? I'm just going to type in the chat just to start the ball rolling. If anybody else would go over, just hashtag aerial views raid with an exclamation mark there, you know. That's cool. If anybody else would like to go over there, I wouldn't like to do a one-man raid if I can help it, you know, so everybody pile over there. And I'll see you all over there in about 2 or 3 minutes, okay, just while I round up the stream and whatnot. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will catch you on Sunday night for the Tinfoil Hat Conspiracy Theory live stream. It's going to be sick. I've got loads of good stuff planned for that. And I'll catch you all again real soon. So thanks for watching. And if the guests want to say a quick goodbye, and we're going to go raid BNO Outdoors. Yeah, quick goodbye then from you guys.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, Lucas. Cheers, mate. There we go, mate. I'm just making sure that my audio's not still on there. That's cool. Yeah, I've selected the wrong one. Sorry, folks. There we go. Just going to switch over. There we go. Nice one.